up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, that subscribe button. Got a, you know what I'm saying, special guest today. It's my girl, Chris. A lot of y'all don't know. A lot of y'all do, and a lot of y'all don't know, Chris.
Yeah.
I think the last video was getting on live. I think alive. It was live, and
it was alive.
People still like know, you know, but a lot of people that's new to the channel. It's my girl, Chris, and she actually has a channel. She ain't posted on a while, but shoot, I forgot your. It's Chris TV, but the TikTok, I don't think that's Chris TV on TikTok.
That's Can You Say Chris?
Is what?
Can You Say Chris?
Can You Say Chris on TikTok? And she posts. Recently, she's posted TikToks.
Yeah, more than YouTube.
Yeah, but definitely trying to get her, you know, on game on what's going on, you know, with everything and you know, the whole case. Make sure before y'all get in the video to make sure y'all go check out my clothing brand, Anks Worldwide. It's www.anksworldwide.com. Y'all see the t-shirts in the back, and if y'all can't hear us very well, I do apologize for that. Then set the other microphone up, but you know, let's get in the video.
Let's bring in House Speaker Mike Johnson. He joins us right now with reaction. Mr. Speaker, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
We were just talking about how ever since the verdict, a lot of money has been coming into the Trump campaign. And I was just reading in Punchbowl that the National Republican Congressional Committee, you guys raised $300,000 last night, which eclipses only the day you were elected speaker, and you raised $175,000. So obviously, you know, angry voters are motivated voters.
They are, and there's good reason to be motivated, of course. I mean, this entire thing is absurd. I'm a lawyer. I was a litigator for 20 years. I was in court with President Trump a few weeks ago to see this for myself. What happened there was outrageous. And you're right, the American people see it. This is a purely political exercise, not a legal one. And everybody knows that. They know intuitively that it's wrong, and the people are outraged. I'm in one of those swing states today. I'm in Ohio and Michigan today. I'll be in Illinois tomorrow. I've been in, by the end of this week, we'll have been in 115 cities in 29 states. And I'm telling you guys, something is happening out there. People see what is going on. They see that the Democrats are so desperate because President Trump is crushing Joe Biden in the polls. They see the Democrat Party and the left so desperate to stop him that they'll risk the destruction of our entire legal system to do it. And that is not hyperbole. That's what's going on here. We broke records on our fundraising platforms last night. We'll continue to do that. We even set up a new website. Go to supportdjt.com, because that's how us in Congress, members in Congress, are going to help stand with him and defend this and make sure the right verdict is rendered November 5th. That's the American people.
So we only, what, 2 minutes in? Like, do you think this, you know what I'm saying, right or, it's not a right or wrong, you know, answer that you can give, but like, do you think him having that verdict, you know, said him, you know, you guilty on, you know, the 34 counts. I'm pretty sure it's 34 counts. Do you feel like that's going to motivate others to vote for him, or do you feel like it's not so much of a motivation? I think you think that it's gonna stay, you know, the same.
I think it's kind of both, because it's gonna motivate some people because they love him so much, and then some people it's gonna be like, I don't know, because like the whole going to jail, trial, all that stuff. But I feel like for a lot, it's gonna motivate a lot of people.
And why do you think it's gonna motivate a lot of people?
Because they want him to be president regardless. Yeah. So he's not gonna. They don't care.
And I think that's the main thing too. Like having seen him go through this. Like it's a lot of people. Like it's gonna sound weird that I say this, but like it's a lot of people that's been in his shoes, been in, you know, corruption and being like, that's literally been in a bad situation. And it's like, oh yeah, he's going through this and he went through this, and I see how corrupt stuff is. This whole verdict didn't do anything but help his numbers and to help him.
Yeah, because they still, regardless, they're his fans, so they're gonna want him to be president. Yeah, regardless of what happened.
So, Mr. Speaker, if I could get you to put your legal hat back on, not as Speaker, but how does this play out? I mean, you got the former president. He's gonna appeal this. Do you think that this is going to happen before the election? Most analysts say it's not. Do you think that the Supreme Court has a duty to step in since this will impact, the election? I know we want to act like he's just a normal guy, but he's a leading presidential candidate. The voters should know what's going to happen here. So what do you see playing out in the legal system?
Well, there's a lot of developments yet to come, but I do believe the Supreme Court should step in. Obviously, this is totally unprecedented, and it's dangerous to our system. I mean, we've all discussed this before, and you all talk about it all the time. This is diminishing the American people's faith in our system of justice itself. And to maintain a republic, you have to have that. People have to believe that justice is fair, that there's equal justice under law. They don't see that right now. And I think that the justices on the court, I know many of them personally, I think they're deeply concerned about that as we are. So I think they'll set this straight, but it's going to take a while. You're right. The process takes a while to play out. The Democrats know that, of course, and they're dragging it out. That was the whole objective. They want to try to bankrupt Donald Trump. They want to diminish his credibility and go after his character. They wanted to keep him off the campaign trail, which they were successful in doing for many weeks. And now they want to call him the convicted felon. This will be overturned, guys. There's no question about it. It's just going to take some time to do it.
Right. Go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. In the meantime, the sentencing date is July 11th. That's after the first debate. So the two candidates will debate. Then there's going to be the sentencing date. How's that going to affect the RNC? What if he has home confinement? He can't go? Sure. Does the convention still happen? Does he zoom in on the screen? How does he campaign? If he goes to prison, what does that look like? Will he be in prison?
And I feel like all those are like valid questions too, because I feel like that's what the whole world is wanting to know now. I feel like everybody thought about so much of like, he won't be guilty. Trump's not guilty. They don't find evidence. Everybody had that mindset. Then some people had that mindset. What if he is guilty?
Like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah. And then you kind of like hear you like, oh, he's not going to be guilty. But what if, but then now that he's guilty, people have questions on how everything is going to work out too.
Prison with Secret Service on Election Day?
We're in uncharted waters, right? Obviously, there's no prohibition against him being elected president, even if he's confined somewhere. Right. But I certainly hope that doesn't happen. There's lots of discussion. We talked about it all last night. There'll be more discussion today about how we might adjust things in the schedule and all of that. But I'm going to tell you what will happen. I predict this will increase turnout on our side. He will win decisively. He will become the next president. He was already, as I said, crushing Joe Biden in the polls. I think as this plays out and people get more and more frustrated about it, I think it will help us, and that huge enthusiasm gap that already existed between the Trump and Biden campaigns will be even wider. People now see Donald Trump as a symbol of something. He's more than just an individual. He's a symbol of fighting back against this government corruption, the deep state, the bureaucracy, and all the rest. And we need his leadership in the White House now more than ever.
I mean, just seeing for the last 5-6 weeks, everything just stopped. Everyone's watching. It becomes the #1 story in big and small towns across the country. You wonder, the other 3 cases, the other 3 indictments, will they see the light of day? No one can say for sure, but we expect at any time the Supreme Court to rule on immunity. You have such a rich legal background. What should we all be looking for there? I know what you hope.
And that's some good marketing too, though. If you think about it, that's real good marketing. Just the simple fact that even though that he's guilty and there's 34 counts and stuff, his face is everywhere.
Yeah, literally, it's been everywhere.
Yeah, and then I feel like it's been more. You remember when he was president and all this stuff happened? You would see Trump, but you see him way more now.
More now that he's
Yeah. Not what?
Like that, he's not president right
now.
Oh. You still see him.
No, I thought you was finishing talking. That's why.
Oh no, yeah.
No, but I honestly think like, just thinking about like the whole everything, like it's good. It's good that he's everywhere. When you get on YouTube, you get on TikTok, you get on Instagram, you get on anything, you're gonna see Trump's face everywhere. And I feel like it's more so of like, you don't really see Biden. Like if I was in Biden's shoes, and I'm not trying to make this sound like, be on no, but when you want to do something positive, you want to do something that can boost, because right now, he all the way down here, all the way down here,
You don't
and Trump all the way
see
up.
nothing about Biden.
You don't.
That's what. is the crazy part.
You don't see nothing about Biden that's going on, nothing good, nothing, and then if it is something good, it's like you trying.
Yeah.
For what are some of the rulings they could have?
Well, look, I do believe that the court needs to address that clearly. We have to set a standard here. There's a really important principle of immunity for a commander-in-chief. I mean, that's always been part of our legal tradition, and it makes good sense. You can't have somebody sitting in the Oval Office worried about some rogue prosecutor somewhere, some Soros-funded DA or some lawyer that's going to come after them for their decisions. And so that principle needs to be made concrete and needs to be expanded. I think this court will do the right thing because they see the abuse of the system right now. And that's the greatest peril here of all at the end of the day. This transcends even Donald Trump. It's about whether or not the people believe in our institutions, our system of justice. There's nothing larger than that in our system.
Right. And we were talking to Mark Penn, the very famous pollster, a little while ago, Mr. Speaker, about how this is going to boomerang on the Democrats. But nonetheless, even though it looks like it's going to boomerang and come back to haunt them, every day, every minute they can, the campaign is going to refer to him as Donald Trump, convicted felon, right up until it's overturned on appeal, if it is.
Yeah, and
I feel like it's history at the end of the day. You have somebody that, this person, he was guilty. They found him guilty. They did this, and he still became president.
Yeah,
that's gonna be wild.
Everybody's gonna talk about that forever.
Yeah, and we get to witness that though. We get to talk. You know what I'm saying? People get to talk about that today. Grandchildren, they great grand, so
what happened?
Yeah, that's
they'll
tight.
still say that after the appeal, I'm sure. That's what was the whole objective of this thing. But I'm telling you that the people see right through it. I've been all across the country, north, south, east, west. Doesn't matter whether I'm in a blue state or a red state. People are disgusted by this. They see exactly what's happening. Old charges, a tainted judge. I mean, think of it. In the last couple of weeks, they've been apoplectic. They want Justice Alito to be recused from, future cases and proceedings because his wife flew a flag at their house. This judge on this case in Manhattan was an open Biden supporter, an open, activist, a political activist, and no one cared about that. So
Mr.
the double
Speaker,
standard is clear. Everybody sees it.
I was watching Alina last night, one of the attorneys for Donald Trump, and she said when the verdict was read, he had to put his hand over his mouth, and she said she suspects it's to hide a smile.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
I wouldn't doubt it. Look, I told you I was there on the ground. I saw that Banana Republic.
I mean, why else would a person do that? When they trying to, do this, like they smiling because he knew what was gonna happen and he seen the reactions on people's faces.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Trump and his team gonna get the last laugh and the support. So I mean that's.
Trial going on. These are the things that you expect in third world countries, not in the United States. That should never have happened. That judge should never have presided.
So Andrew Weissman, who ran the Mueller probe, said he has a man crush on the judge. And he thinks that he also recommends that the president get prison because of his violations and the way he talked about the judge. Your thoughts?
This is all stuff that I react to already and seen. But this guy had, he was on the I really don't even care, what this. Sorry that I, said that, but he said that he had a man crush on the judge, and he thinks that he's a great judge. And honestly, I don't know. That's another talk. But that was a different video that
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's incredible. The gag order, all of it was, in my view, an unconstitutional restriction on his free speech. I mean, he's the nominee, the Republican nominee, one of the major political parties in the country, running for president. You cannot do to him what they did. It shouldn't have been allowed. None of this should have gone forward, and I think the people see that. They see right through it.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry, you go ahead.
No,
I've asked two already.
No, go ahead.
I just want to know from a faith perspective, Speaker Johnson, what can you tell our country who's disappointed in this ruling and worried about the future?
Look, I was with some big crowds here in three different cities yesterday in Ohio, and I told them all the same thing. Keep the faith. Look, I'm absolutely convinced. Reagan used to remind us, we are the last best hope of man on the earth. He was quoting Lincoln in that regard. We have the best system, and even though people try to corrupt it, it is worth preserving. And I genuinely believe, Ainsley, that God's going to allow us another chance. We're going to be able to fix this. November 5th cannot get here soon enough, but I'm very bullish on that election cycle. I think the people people are going to return us to common sense by putting us back in authority.
We'll finally find out if God's a Democrat or Republican.
This is true.
So wrong.
I heard independent.
So wrong.
We'll then find out.
We still have a
I
process.
don't think he cares
put in-
about the party, but he does care about the principle.
That's
He does care
exactly
about the
right.
principle.
Mr. Speaker, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
That was smooth though. That was a real good video, and I feel like it was real good, valid questions. You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely valid questions.
yeah, because I feel like a lot of people it leaves, and that's why I like when people have these discussions and you actually watching, you know, a channel that actually gives you that information, because a lot of people are stuck, you know, trying to figure out. Yeah,
All day, what's going on? How's it gonna play out?
definitely. But I know, you know, stuff is gonna work out. You know, that's all that matters. And definitely appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this reaction. Much love, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all next one.